Hello everyone, and welcome back to Starmade. Pardon my voice if it's a little nasally. I'm still recovering from a bit of a cold, so my apologies there, but I'm just so excited that I have to show this stuff off, so bear with me, because this one's going to get really awesome really fast. Also, to anybody who was celebrating, this week with their families, happy holidays and whatnot. So, let's get right to it. Last time I showed you guys some engine pods that I was working on because I didn't want to do anything too intensive before cargo and crew updates came out. So one of the other things I thought I could do was, hey, I could build a turret, and I could build a big turret. So this one, the gun on this is about a 100 meters long, 100 blocks long, yeah. And I was like, that's a decent, like frigate, like kind of battleship turret looking thing. I had some concept art that I was working off of, and you will see that I strayed from that pretty quickly. So I'm not even going to show it off. But, yeah, so I was like, that's cool for like a single turret, but what would be look even better is if I made a battleship turret out of it and do a triple barrel thing. So this is the Trident, um, you know, battleship turret. And each of the barrels is self-powered, and the base is also self-powered with rail enhancers and shields, if I can target it. No, I can't target it because I took everything off the navigation menu. But anyway, that's not really what I'm here to talk about. So I developed this really sweet trident thing, and I was like, man, I've got to put that on something. So I started building this. And this is the start of the TCS Razorthorn. Um, I was really digging where this is going. I got the 3 turrets on there. Down in front here, if I can squeeze in, that's my camera. I've got this like launch bay that I was working on. See, there's a little demo fighter in there, and room for, more. Trying to organize it out and have a little small carrier bay. So this thing is like a strike craft, right? It's supposed to warp in and then just try to take on ships that are larger than it, right? So, and I figured, these cannons could take on some ships that are a little bit bigger than it is, and then it can launch these, bombers to take out critical systems and stuff and be like, real first strike craft, right? And then I actually got quite a bit further on this version of it, and we come up here without showing off too much, and I realized that I had phallic spaceship syndrome. So I just can't stand that. It bugs me so much. So I was like, well, crap. What can I do to it, right, to make it not so terrible? And I decided, at first I just went ahead and added a bit of the like hammerhead front, kind of like some of the beryllium and prior ships like that. But then all I could think of was battle cruiser operational. And I was like, oh, no, no, trying to get away from things that other people have done, right? And then I remembered that when I was using that design, one of the modifications that I had was kind of my like frigate destroyer piece. And so we got here. So I got that front piece there, had to knock it out, make room for the ships to come through. And once I got these giant, arms on the side, the little trident cannons looked just absolutely pitiful. So, of course, because it still needs to be a strike craft, and because I had so much more room now for power and laying and whatever, I decided to, just make an absolutely ginormous cannon for it. I was like, yeah, ginormous cannon, this thing's gonna be huge. It's gonna be mega power hungry. I was working out some, ideas for rail chaining, million power, capacitors and power supply, and just figure out a way to stuff them all in there. And I was like, man, if I'm gonna have to be like chain docking this, I'm gonna have this big complicated thing. Also, I made the dome a little bit bigger up there, the command dome. And I was like, man, if I'm going to be like rail docking and chaining all this stuff together to make this massive cannon, which I really hope to be able to stuff with just a ridiculous amount of cannon beam overdrive to make it like sniper alpha assault cannon. And I was like, man, if I'm going to stuff all this crap in there, I'm going to have to get a way to like get all of it out. like, or get it in at least. Like, I'm gonna have to dock it in there, and this is gonna be, the most finagly way that I'm gonna dock anything ever. So, of course, I took everything almost entirely back to the drawing board, and currently we have this for the Razorthorn. This is probably one of my most complex designs ever. Let's see if I can remember the button presses in order. Everything is still very, very much so like beta right now, like I'm just slapping activation modules and build blocks all over this thing. So let's see. First, you need to be able to, to unlock all of the locks. So there's going to be a large number of locks on this thing. And if I can hit the button, I hope I do this right. I probably can't shoot it from here. Boop. Boop. There we go. All right. So to undo the locks, this whole side plate and angled plate are going to be replaced. But, just got to show this off. And like I said, it's all very alpha beta E as far as form. So all this gets replaced later with new, better hull. And then that gets replaced later when I decide to paint it. Boom. All right. So these latches will lock into the main plate cannon area. And they get pushed out. I'll probably also have a wall up on this whole front area will slide out, to attach to this piece here. All right, so the latches get unlatched. And then well, okay, great, but now I've got all these tubes and those are the locks. And there they go. The locks move all the way through the ship. Oh man, this took so much to get to work right. Mostly because I haven't actually done that much with rails. And once the locks are fully unlocked, then, oh yes, that's right, the entire cannon system will come out. Oh, so excited. This means that this ship is now a modular craft because the entire top and the entire bottom of the wing are basically going to be blank, and the turret power system actually will be what has the top and bottom of the ship on it. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, so the entire top and bottom of the ship will be on this cannon power system, but that means that I can house multiple different systems. I don't have to have a giant cannon. I can have, a troop carrying system. I can have a command system. I have literally half the ship to play with. Of course, this side isn't, done at all because this rail system is enough to begin with. But yeah, oh my god, I've literally just put the final pieces on the turret lifting part right now, and it's even in pretty much a temporary state. So, of course, activation lines going all over the place. I'm not quite yet sold if I want to do a fourth lock here. It would probably look right, but they're a big pain to make. It's actually all one, so all of the outer shells are actually one uh, rail system that is controlled. That's actually the core for that rail system there. And then each of the insets is all controlled by the central, this rail right, or this piston right here is the central rail, and then all of the others are just shells built off of it, so it doesn't actually use as much logic and as much rail. I don't have to do tons of wireless stuff. So let's line back up here and see if I can, let's see, to latch it back in the docked position. First, we want to lower the weapon. So yeah, now I can just make, holes through the central piece that the locks will slide into. Get you off from being catty corner there. Oh man. So excited with how this... Of course, there's still a fair bit of logic. I want to do this whole sequence off of, you know, one logic button press. And then make sure I'm doing the right one. Yeah, so this one. So the locks come out, or, you know, they'll lock the centerpiece in. I'm also going to have some attachment points on the outer frame that may like rotate or do something so it looks like they latch onto the ends of these, like lock into position, you know. And then that latches in, and then boop, and the locks come down, slide into place. Booyah. I'm seriously so excited about this. And it's way early for me to be showing it off, but holy cow, it's going to be absolutely magnificent when it's done. Which is now probably going to be absolutely forever. Also, on this version, I did do a little bit of work to the flight bays. There we go. So now they actually have their little launch pieces. And I wanted the ships to be docked at a 45 because I get sick of seeing, you know, 90-degree docks all over the place. So they do have rail rotators on them. Excuse me. So, yeah, that does make the ships a little bit shorter. This is about the maximum build height and width and length. I might be able to get it a little bit longer. I could get it a little bit longer on the front, but then it's going to end up sticking out over the bay. But that's how wide, you know, maximum width for it to be able to fly through the launch area. They should probably technically be drones, but I don't have a drone launch system that can angle them out properly. So they're just like strike craft. Like I said, I want this to be like an alpha strike vessel. So maybe they're just going to be like defense fighters, really light defense fighters to try to take out some, you know, turret fire, or yeah, just send pilots out to die to turrets. It's no big deal. Or, you know, enemy fighters, you know, kind of an anti-fighter, but good God, that cannon is absolutely huge. But now I can have all of the room, because I can cut the bottom out of this and go down as far as I need to for power on that thing. And I did some experimentation with chain docked power systems. And yeah, I won't have to use power supply beams at all for my turret. I'll just hit the million power soft cap and chain it up. Oh yeah, I've got one other thing I can show off. Two other things actually. You probably saw a little bit of it over there. One, all of my practice with designing engines kind of paying off. Got a couple of medium-sized starts there. I'm probably going to throw a couple of more like lower. I want there's going to be some depth to this ship. It's not going to be flat on the bottom, I promise. I just got obsessed over making turrets and rail bits. So you can see up here, I did start a larger engine because I realized after I built, so this is where I was building the turrets. After I built this turret, I realized, man, that, like, it's been so long since I played Starmade that I thought that engine was kind of big for a while, and then I made the turret, and I was like, oh crap, that's not big at all. So I started on this guy. Oh yeah. Much nicer, much bigger engine. Trying to do something different. Messing around with shape and form on it. So I don't know if this engine will make it out to there or not. But this Trident turret, which I thought was, you know, kind of big, is now small. And really, this turret isn't, I mean, it's not like Titan big, but it is, I think it's like 348. Let's see. Let's see where we are. Did I literally have that up the whole time? Oh well. Let's pop over in here and see. I do want to build the back out a little bit too. But again, once I built like half the cannon, I was like, oh, I need power. And then when I started working on power, I was like, oh god, this needs to drop in the ship. And then I got on this like modular battleship thing and was just like, oh, holy crap. So yeah, there we go. 339 long, 45 by 39. So that's going to be a pretty large turret. And I have no idea what kind of power supply it's going to need and how much I'm going to be able to stuff in here, but I'm going to have fun with it. So, and now I have a modular frame. Well, basically, it'll just have command down here on the bottom, which I didn't show off. There's a little bit of space on the bottom. Down here on the bottom, just this spot here, underneath the flight deck, will be, like flight quarters, like crew quarters. And then do also have these neat little stairwell hallways that lead you to starting to do some interior, lead you to the different levels of the flight deck. I might slab this instead of wedge it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Slabs are really cool and hard to ignore. And then, of course, this will be like command and control and navigation and things like that. Starting to wedge that. It's a long, tedious process. And then, engineering. So I'll basically have like all the basics on this ship. And then these giant modular pod frames on the side. So that's going to be it for me for now. Like I said, got really excited, had to show this off. Hopefully the next time I do a video, I'll have, the full mechanism deployed on both sides. And not sure if it's going to be, a weekly video project or not. If I'm going to go back to the weekly whip format. This will go ahead and be a weekly whip since it's Sunday. But, oh man, so excited for this ship. I don't know. I know it's like super flat and everything right now, but that's a pretty wickedly huge cannon, and I hope that when this thing is done, it'll actually feel like an Alpha Strike. Like it'll feel like it can take on ships much bigger than itself. So we'll see. That'll be a future video. Anywho, thank you all for watching and favoriting and whatnot. Like, I got super excited because I thought that, since I was gone for, I don't even know how long, playing Fallout and everything else that went on, I was gone for quite a while. I had not uploaded a video, and you guys still, on my prior upload, got me up to like 100 views in no time. So I think about like 2 days, it was at like 75 views, which is, that's really cool for me. And I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. So if you have any comments, critiques, feedback, um, hit me up in the reply, leave a reply, let me know what you think. I'm silly excited, and I think that this is gonna keep me playing Starmade for a while. And hopefully the updates that come out don't completely crush my stuff. So, because I'm really excited about this. But anyway, thank you all again for watching, and keep building.